my piece of memory is a book titled The Riddle of the Oil Thief. It will take about 10 hours to read, so I will just summarize, but I may submit it as my memorandum for you to do some work. I want to mention to the panel and to all of us that today we have not properly emphasized why people engage in oil thievery. The why for me is critical given where I come from. I was born at Otuabagi where the first oil well was drilled, and my kingdom is sitting on top of gas. It's about 500 meters from the most polluting gas flare in the whole wide world. So, why are people engaged? If there is nobody to buy illegally distilled crude, illegally distilled AGU, will anybody be engaged in it? If the Nigerian state were able to produce for us sufficient PMS, sufficient AGU, sufficient kerosene, and sufficient everything, will anybody be engaged in what we are seeing in front of us? For someone like me, that picture shows clearly that we are yet to understand what oil thievery is. Those boys you are seeing, who are my children actually, are victims of oil thievery. It is because people are stealing oil and stole oil for so long that human beings will engage in something as awful as this. Those are not oil thieves. This house must know, and the panel must know, that these guys you are seeing are victims of oil thievery. They were born less than 30 years ago. From this same hall we heard that oil thievery started effectively from the 80s. 80s to now, how many years? 80s to now, 40 years. Those boys never reached 40. It means that people were stealing oil, nobody said anything. They kept stealing oil, nobody said anything, until it became so much so that they had no choice than to go and get into this. Cancer is guaranteed, polluting their homes, and so on and so forth. Do they have guns? Yes, they have guns. Do they manufacture guns? No, they do not. So how come do they have guns? It means that the institutions of the federal government that are supposed to have prevented them having access to such weapons are not doing their work. It's good that we have customs service here today. Do they take drugs? Yes, they do. Again, it means, do they manufacture the drugs? No, at least not before. In the 70s, Nigeria was a country for hard drugs. After a while, we became consumers. Now here we are being producers. So the Nigerian state has been watching this country degenerate, human beings, human value degenerate to this point where victims of oil thievery are seen as thieves. If the Nigerian state, I'm also happy in this same conference we've mentioned that in less than 3-4 months, we're able to turn things around. It means if the Nigerian state is ready to turn things around, they can turn it around in 6 months. I'm from Bayelsa State. I'm aware that JTF, the Joint Task Force, to prevent oil theft by vandalism and so on and so forth, came there in 1998. 1998 to date, 25 years. It is only last 3 months or so we are hearing that about 200 persons are being prosecuted. How many persons have been found in jail? I know people, you arrest them today, tomorrow morning they are out. They had big men. When I mention big men, I'm talking of exceptionally rich people who will just call them, release them, they will release. So I think the panel should focus on all of these. If we do not, then we'll be missing the mark. That why for me is important. Why is it very important. For those of us who are from the Niger Delta, who are in that environment, where right now we can't fish anymore, we can't farm anymore because of pollution. And nobody here has talked about a systematic, deliberate cleaning up of the environment that has been polluted. If that is not done, we can't use kinetic methods only to solve this problem. The problem here is, if you go to those companies, and I believe when the panel was going around, you also saw the poverty in every corner you turned. One of the speakers mentioned it. You have brightness as bright as the Hilton in almost every oil field. And then you see places that are as dark as hell, just 10 meters away. Those are our communities. So if you have that, will anybody that is dead be afraid of death? The youths of the Niger Delta, the people of the Niger Delta are already dead. The Nigerian state has murdered them. And so, if we must get out of this quagmire, we must develop that place. There must be money in those communities. There's no economy there. Complete lack of economy. No money. All the monies are Abuja, Lagos, and mentioned them. The oil thieves in this same panel, someone mentioned. The thieves include international collaborators. So they're in America, they're in England. In Biafra State, there is no kingdom where anybody has a ship. Nobody has a ship. And the bulk of the thievery is done by siphoning using ships and barges. So if JTF has done 25 years, nobody is arrested, nobody is jailed, more vandalism. And then you write in the PIA, giving me and my children the budget. What trained soldiers could not do, what trained DSS could not do, what trained police could not do, I should do. If I don't get 3%. Meanwhile, I want this house to know that the sea borders, Biafra has the longest coastline. The sea borders are so porous that if I wanted to get to the US by boat, from the time this conference started, I will have been in the US by now. And ask them, there are boats that fast. So to get to Abuja or what's that? The other one. Malabo. To get to such places, it's just like this. That is how porous the borders are. All the customs officers are in Tinkan Island. Yes, I just had 38 boats. What will anybody do with 38 boats? A whole customs service. There are no boats in Biafra State. We are even going to an election, something similar. INEC has no boats. So the Nigerian state prepares for the land. They never prepare for the river. That's why you must have heard of road safety. There is no riverine safety. None. Police. The Nigerian police that is supposed to mop up the weapons that have been smuggled in because the custom could not prevent the smuggling, do not have boats. So that is how bad the situation is. If you read the 41 chapters in the Riddle of the Oil Thief, I believe you will cease to see those victims as oil thieves, and you want to look at the pervading poverty in the oil-bearing communities, and then address it. Because I can tell you today that if we had a better transportation system, we had a better educational system, we've had better development, there will have been nobody to be recruited to do this dirty job that even a madman will not do. Even a madman won't do that. But that is what we've been pushed to, that's what we've been subjected to for so long, and the Nigerian state is pretending not to know. Pretending not to know. So, let us have refineries to work. Let us have PMS and everything everywhere. And then this will cease to be attractive. Will anybody see Uncle Ben's, a rice consumer, Uncle Ben's, and then you go and eat Stonefield rice? The answer is no. So let's have the right product in the market, and then life will go on. In the whole of this conference, only one man managed to mention one area that no one has mentioned, and that is subsidy thieves. Subsidy thieves are oil thieves. Subsidy thieves, subsidy racketeers are oil thieves. They bring one ship in, they collect money for 5 ships. They bring 2 ships, they collect money for 20 ships. They bring no ship, they keep collecting money for them. That is why we are having this problem. Let us call a spade a spade. So as I round up, I want to mention something that was mentioned. I think one of my colleagues mentioned it. And that is about the amnesty program, for instance, the NDDC, for instance, and the Niger Delta Ministry, for instance. My brother feels they should be collapsed into one. But I think otherwise. Why do I think otherwise? They have laws and they had mandates. The amnesty program, for instance, is not meant to last forever. However, has it achieved its mandate? The answer is no. If it hasn't, and you remove it and bring another one, what's the guarantee that the new one will achieve it? So the Nigerian state should compel these institutions to work, compel the amnesty to do their work, compel the NDC to do their work, compel the custom to do their work, compel the NDLA to do their work. Why didn't the NDLA work until Marwa came on board? He came on board, Babakari was arrested. He came on board, they arrested people every day. The Nigerian state should cease to be hypocritical. This is a conference for the truth to be told, and I'm telling the truth the best I know. You know you want more, read the order of the people of the other people. Verify.
We've heard from the chiefs. It's only proper that we take at least one question from the audience. The day is fast spent, so I would ask the gentleman. Yes, okay. Formal presentation.